In today's video, literally all Toronto property types have seen an increase in average and median prices month over month, comparing February of 2023 to January of 2023. We're gonna go through all the numbers, all the stats, and everything you need to know. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtor Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the Toronto real estate market. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Sam, a Toronto real estate agent working with buyers and sellers. On this channel, we like to discuss all things Toronto real estate market oriented, market stats, market facts, market trends, buyer advice, seller advice, pre-construction previews, condo building reviews, area analysis, and so much more. So feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review if you happen to enjoy this content, or for any general real estate inquiries, feel free to get in touch with my contact information on the screen. So it's really funny because when I make a video about how prices are significantly down year over year, the market has cooled, the market has significantly corrected, or as I did recently, how there is upwards of 40 to 50 failed bidding wars occurring every 3 to 4 days, and the number of offers a property gets means absolutely nothing. Well, people like to comment, oh, you're just a Toronto real estate bear, you just like to crap on the market, you're after the clicks, you're after the clout. But then when I turn around and I make posts, whether it's on Instagram, on Twitter, on Reddit, or on TikTok, talking about how average home prices, median home prices are up, market activity is up, the market is picking up again, making videos about how I just sold this property, just sold that property, how month over month things have picked up. Then people like to accuse me of being a real estate bull. Oh, Sam, you're just a Toronto real estate bull. You're just like to pump the market. You're just trying to create FOMO. You just want to drive sales because you're not doing any business. But the fact of the matter is very, very simple. The truth is very simple and nuanced. And longtime viewers of this channel, the guys and gals who have been following me since day one, and those of my clients who have bought and sold with me, know that I go based upon the facts and my everyday experience as a Toronto real estate agent. And both the numbers, the stats, and my qualitative experience working with buyers on a daily basis tell me that you should not buy into either narrative. Do not buy into the bull narrative. Do not buy into the bear narrative. The market is not going to crash another 30-40% from January of 2023. At the same time, there is no rocket ship waiting to take off. Prices are not going to explode again. We're not going to see market conditions like we did last year during peak market for a long time. So don't buy into the FOMO either. As we will see in today's video, prices are simply climbing back up. Market activity has heated up, but this is only on a month over month outlook and comparing it to the end of 2022, namely December and November. Yet nonetheless, year over year, prices are still significantly down. The market is far, far less hot. The market has cooled significantly, and there's a higher likelihood of the market trading sideways for the rest of 2023, and rate cuts are not really feasible at this moment in time. And people have such a difficult time understanding this nuanced perspective in the middle. They cannot help themselves but to either buy into the everything's gonna crash perspective or into the nothing's really happened, prices are climbing back up, so buy now before it's too late perspective. Now, are prices climbing back up? There is absolutely no question about that. I mean, there is no way you can cherry pick the data to say otherwise. Toronto home prices, when broken down by property type on a month over month basis, are unequivocally up. Let's get to the stats. For instance, let's start with detached two-story within the city of Toronto. So here, Toronto, we mean Toronto proper. We're not accounting for York region, Mississauga, or Peel region rather, or Durham. And if we were to account for those as well, there's no question in my mind, we would also see an increase as well, but not to the same extent. But let's start. In January of 2023, 23 full days, because as always, I'm recording this on the 24th of February, so it would not make sense for us to look 24 days versus 24 days. And there's a lot of sales that can be finalized by the end of tonight. So looking at 23 full days, in January of 2023, we saw a median sold price of $1,570,000 for a two-story detached property in the city of Toronto. Now in February of 2023, we're looking at a median sold price of $1,677,000. Once again, for a two-story detached property. Now I made a post about this on Reddit and people start to say, well, you're cherry picking data. You're only looking at one property type because once again, you're a real estate bull. You're trying to push up the market. You're trying to drive sales, create the FOMO. Because as I aforementioned, people say, well, that's a cherry picked stat. Why are you only looking at one particular property type? Well, of course, if you want to be as specific as possible and as detailed as possible in assessing any data or any trends, it would make zero sense for you to look at detached overall outside of making content for the sake of content. I'm sure I've done it in the past, but in this case, it makes zero sense. A bungalow is a far different property type than a two-story detached property versus a side split 4 versus a 1.5 story. So to get as close as possible to the fact of the matter, what's actually happening within the Toronto real estate market in terms of detached properties, you have to break it down as I did right now. So two-story detached, we just covered. Let's go into a different type of detached property. Bungalows. For the uninitiated, a bungalow is a property type where there is no two stories. That does not mean that there isn't a stairwell that sometimes ascends upwards. There are certain bungalow lofts or raised bungalows that have that miniature story upstairs that's not counted as a complete story, but most bungalows are not that. Most bungalows are just, once again, one story with a basement and an attic, and they're probably the oldest property type, sitting on average the largest lots. So with regards to detached bungalows, in January of 2023, we had a median of $1,016,000 in the city of Toronto, whereas now 23 days into February, we see a median of $1,151,000 for a detached bungalow. But once again, people will probably say you're cherry picking the stats. Why only detached in the city of Toronto? What is the point you're trying to get across? Well, why not look at semi-detached properties so far in February? Moving on to semi-detached, once again, we see an increase in prices with regards to the Toronto real estate market for semi-detached properties in February of 2023, because in January of 2023, a semi-detached in Toronto on a median basis, we saw a price of $1,125,000. Now in February of 2023, guess what? Once again, we see an increase. We're looking at $1,240,000 for a semi-detached within the city of Toronto. And if you're asking, why are you using the median here? Why is the median the one you're looking at and not the average? Are you trying to once again cherry pick the data? Well, guess what? The fact of the matter is, if I was trying to cherry pick data, I would be using averages, because for all these property types, the averages are double the increase of the medians. The reason I'm not using averages because it's not accurate. Why are averages not as good as medians right now in this case? Because we're looking at a low sample size, and medians are better at accounting for the fact that there is a large variance for any of these property types. A two-story detached, the first property type we took a look at, you can have a 5,000 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4-washroom, triple car garage, two-story detached that sells for $5 and $5.5 million. Or you can have a two-story detached on a 22 by 110 lot that sells for 1.5 or 1.6. That's why, to account for the range of sales and data entries within this one property type or any of these we're discussing today, median is the one that's a better measure. Because on all these fronts, once again, if I were to use averages, it would look far worse. It would show you that, property types have exploded. Whereas here with median, we see no, the prices have not exploded, but they've actually increased a healthy but not sizable amount. Moving forward, townhomes. Have townhomes increased? Well, of course. Townhomes in January of 2023, according to the median price within the city of Toronto, had a price of $1,028,000. Now in February of 2023, that very median price has increased to $1,120,000. And to finish up, condos, the property type that has increased the least in January of 2023 for a condo, we were looking at $700,000 in the city of Toronto. Now, thus far in February of 2023, once again, only 23 days, comparing it to 23 days of January, we're looking at $736,000. So definitely still an increase, but the smallest increase for all these property types we have seen thus far. So there's no question, Toronto home prices are up on all fronts, on all property types in the month of February. But this does not mean now that you need to buy right now. Neither does it mean that this is cherry-picked data and the market's actually going to crash and I'm trying to pump the market. And if I can end the video with a message to the viewers, a message to my clients, a message to new viewers of this channel, a message to real estate enthusiasts, Toronto real estate enthusiasts. I cannot implore you enough. Do not buy into either extreme. Do not buy into the extreme narrative of the bears, of the Toronto real estate bears, thinking the market's going to plummet another 30% or 40%. Do not buy into the bullish narrative. Do not buy into the narrative that you have missed the bottom and prices are only going to skyrocket from here. The fact of the matter is you should assess the numbers on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, with a trusted professional that understands your criteria, whether you're a buyer, or understands your property type, your community, whether if you're a seller, and concurrent and in conjunction with all these factors, make a educated decision. Don't buy into a narrative. Look at the facts, look at the stats, get some help, and make up your own mind. Because if you're asking me, if I'm repeating it for the millionth time, based upon what I see on the facts, the numbers, the quantitative, and what I see on an everyday basis as a Toronto real estate agent working with Toronto home buyers and sellers, I see a market that's significantly down year over year, but is inching up backwards on a month-over-month basis since November and December. It is that simple. So as always, if you have any further questions with regards to anything discussed in this video, or if you disagree with anything discussed in this video, leave those questions and comments in the comment section, or furthermore, get in touch with me. If you have any Toronto real estate inquiries or GTA real estate inquiries, feel free to get in touch. I'll be happy to be of assistance, as I have been to many others who've watched this channel who have gotten in touch. Thank you very much so for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.